can fix me. I'm doing just fine. You think you can change me? I'll change the time.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Macoyahcamara and I do beauty videos. And in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to do boho box braids. And notice how I did not say boho knotless braids, because I am old school like that. I still am at the age where I'm doing box braids. I haven't learned how to do knotless, but I just think that box braids last a little bit longer and they look a little bit more neater, and you can still get the flat look that I feel like people that have knotless braids desire for. And I'm showing you guys how to do this tutorial from scratch, how I started it from the beginning to end. I also have another video on my page on how to do box braids. No extra curly pieces, no other thing, just simple box braids. And you know, I skipped a bunch of steps, but this is literally from beginning to end. So if you can see here, I'm first starting off with freshly washed hair. You want to make sure your scalp has like no dandruff, no dirty hair, just we're working on a clean slate, because you're gonna have these braids on for a month or so and it'll last you that long. I divided my hair into 4 sections and I'm making sure that my hair is blow dried all the way, just very dry. It doesn't have to be super straight. I have kind of like a weak blow dryer that kind of gave out on me during this era anyway, but blow dry your hair to as straight as it can be, honestly. The straighter the better, just because it's more detangled that way. And then you're gonna do twist on your hair, and then you're gonna put it to the side, because we're gonna do all of the parts. And I'm making sure to get every last piece of my hair and making sure that it's super dry, because you don't want to work on hair that is not detangled or that is wet, and you also don't want to work on hair that is dry. So that's why, I don't know if I mentioned that I'm using the Blue Magic to make sure that my hair is thoroughly moisturized. And I don't know about y'all, but I have this weird flaky business going on, so I don't want to add too much oil to flare up my hair. So I'm using this like cooling tea tree oil special thing for my hair. And the next step is stretching the pre-stretched hair. So in my last video that's in the background, I was going on a whole rave about how, I'm old school and I like to stretch my own hair, but y'all, I was just making my life so much harder. How about I just took this pre-stretched hair and stretched it even more to my liking. It's just that easy. I don't know why I was making it harder for myself and trying to find different beauty supplies that offered that style of hair that I know that they don't really sell anymore, because I know a lot of places have pre-stretched hair now. So I'm stretching the pre-stretched hair, y'all. You have to do that in order to make your ends like a little bit smaller, have a skinny end. I don't like having to braid all the way down because I'm just purely lazy, and I like to have that wiggle room of, like, you see how skinny it is up at the bottom. That's the way I like my braids, and it'll make sense once I start the braid and you see the end piece. It's gonna look super skinny really quickly, and I think I'm going for that look. Also, do not forget to comb the hair. Yes, we are stretching the hair, and pre-stretched hair, I will say, already comes really soft and, you know, already detangled, but you can't forget you're working with, it's not real hair, so it will get tangled. So just make sure you're brushing it at all times, and it's okay if you have a little bit of hair that falls out and you decide to just, you know, throw it away or whatever. And then in step 3, I'm gonna part my hair. This step is pretty easy. I'm gonna take my rat tail comb and untwist my hair first. By this point, your hair should be dried already. I kind of had a janky blow dryer, like I said earlier, that was keeping my hair from drying quick enough. So it took me a second to get it dried, but it's all good. So you're next going to divide your hair into 3 sections, one in the back and 2 parts in the front. That's going to divide your hair into the front part of your braids and the back part. Right now I'm dividing my hair from ear to ear, and I'm making sure that it's not going I'm not making my part split down the middle of my head, but more so like the front part of my head. If you see, I'm just gonna like let you watch and see how I'm parting it. I'm parting it more so to the part of my head that I can still see, my scalp that I can still see. I'm still able to see that part, and that will probably get me like 4 or 5 braids in the front, which is ideal. I don't want to have more than 5 braids in the front of my hair for the last row. So this is such a great method to see have small parts in the front of your hair. And right here, I'm parting my hair in the middle because I'm already kind of going to assert my middle part, because I need my hair to be trained to look flat, and I feel like if I didn't have a designated middle part, it would start to look bulky. But don't mind that. When it's time to put your hair in a ponytail or it's time to do any other style, you'll still be able to move your parts, just not for the first couple of days, just because the way I braid, it's braided to that spot, so it's gonna have that flat look for a couple of days. And then if you want to move your hair after the fact, once it starts to have a little wiggle room, you know, by all means you're able to do so. So I just normally do a middle part, but you can do a side part or no part. That's the way I like to do my hair. And for the next step, I am going to, you know, be showing you all of the things that I have that you'll need in order to be successful in creating the boho box braid. So I bought this hair from the beauty supply, and it's half synthetic, half human, and it's not necessarily the hair that I normally go for. I kind of want this like straight hair look. I don't want straight hair pieces, but I want wavy, and I feel like this was a little bit too wavy for me. I still liked it, and I mean, it's still in my hair, I still love it, but I think next time I do the boho box braids again, I'm going to make sure that the waves are even looser, like, which is crazy because how much looser can this get, right? But I almost want it to be like a wave, like a beach wave, like a surf wave. Like it's not too manufactured, but that's neither here nor there. If you want to try out boho, you should try out a looser wave. And what I'm doing now is grabbing each strand, small strands, and adding jam to each parts, and I am putting them off to the side in bulk. Pro tip: you will be doing about 3 to 2 at a time for one braid, so you want to make sure you're making about 50 and then starting your braids, because you want to have that workflow that's super easy. And this is just a refresher before you're braiding. I call this the 2/3 method, and this is how you start your braid. You have to divide the hair into 2 sections, but it's really one side has a little bit more than the other. So I'm right-handed, so the way I like to hold my braid or hold my hair is having the 1/3 braid that doesn't have that much on my dominant hand, and then I'm gonna cross them over. Sorry, this video is pretty slow, but I wanted to show you guys in slow motion, or not slow motion, just like a regular speed. But I'm gonna cross them over, and then now that they're crossed over, you see that? Now I'm gonna take my middle finger, right? And I'm gonna take my thumb, and then I'm gonna grab the short, or the 1/3 with my middle finger and thumb. I'm gonna take my index finger, and then go under, over. And I'm gonna let you watch again without any audio, so you can really just, take in the information. Ah, yes, what we all have been waiting for. We're braiding, finally. Whew, long time coming. So right now I'm starting off my hair with some braids that are already done. Sometimes I have imposter syndrome and I have to see if I know how to do my hair still. So I wanted to try out a couple braids before I started the routine again. And so I'm dividing my part in the front, and my parts are medium sized. They're not small, but they're also not like jumbo. They're pretty average standard size. Also, I have pretty thin hair in the front, so it's why I kind of want my parts to be a little bit bigger, because the smaller the parts, the less hair I'm gonna have when it's time to take out. So I'm gonna take that jam, and then I'm gonna massage my hair with that, my scalp, and I'm gonna make sure that there's no flyaway pieces really, but just to double check. And then I'm gonna start that braid and start to braid my hair onto the X-Pression hair. I really do not know how to explain it the best way. All I can do is just show you different examples on how to braid. And also I would recommend watching my previous video on how to do box braids to really get the best idea on how to braid hair, because I don't know if me talking would be able to better explain, but I have a couple examples in this video, and I'll also add my previous box braid video in the description so you get a better idea on how to attach the braid in itself. But for people who already know how to attach the braid and just want to know how to achieve that boho look, I'll be able to explain that better. So you're going to take that piece of hair with the jam in it, and you're gonna add it onto the braid, and you're gonna try to keep it as, you see how there's still a lot of hair that is being tucked into the braid. That is totally okay, and that is ideal. And the longer the strand, the better. I don't remember how many inches I got for this hair, but just a rule of thumb, the longer the inches, the better. So that way you don't have to worry about trying to retain length and not really tucking a lot, and then your hair easily slipping out. You want to have a lot of room to braid over that hair so it doesn't slip out. That's very important, because the very first time I ever did braids, it turned out a mess because it kept slipping out because I was not tucking it all the way down or far enough. And I also would like to add that if you purchase hair that already comes without the track, so not having to cut and evenly distribute jam, I feel like that'd probably make your life a little bit easier. I've never tried it, but it skips the step of having to cut the tracks, and I'm not sure how convenient they are compared to just cutting a regular human hair track, but it's nice to give it a try. Now lastly, I'm braiding it all the way to the end, and I'm adding some super glue to the ends to make sure that the braid does not unravel, because I am not putting this in hot water, y'all. I want that boho look. Next up, I'm just showing you guys how to braid the hair in normal speed without speeding up, without having any cuts, without just how long on average it takes me to do one braid, and this is that video for you. Whew. So it's finally the next day, and y'all, at this point, I've been braiding my hair for 2 days straight, and it was weighing on my mental. Okay, I could not record anything else. I just had to lock in and really focus on just trying to get my hair done, because I don't know what it is, y'all. Back in the day, I was able to do my hair in 8 hours and call it a day. Nowadays, I have to dedicate an entire weekend to doing any style that I would like, that pertains to braids, and it being past my butt. You know what I mean? So this took me 2 days to complete. If you're dedicated and, addicted to the grind, and, you have somewhere to be by 11:59, so in that case, it could be done. Never say never, but I was moving like a turtle, and I had no desire in finishing super quickly because I took a million breaks. I had so many lunches and snack breaks and naps, and just waves of TikTok doom scrolls that it took me quite a bit to finish. But I'm so happy that was my last braid. You can really tell because I was kind of focused on just like finishing, but I sped it up just so you can kind of get a feeling once again of how I braid. And I know I get a lot of questions on how I braid the back of my head, and that's just a whole nother like ballpark that I'm willing to make a video on if it's requested enough times. But these are probably the only two styles, just regular box braids and the boho box braids, that I really do, and I already have a tutorial on how to do regular box braids. So I'm not sure if I'll revisit the box braid series unless a new idea comes to mind, or a new technique, or a new style erupts, and we're all on that wave. But thank you guys so much for staying along and watching the video, because it's pretty long, and I hope I was informative and you're able to take something away from this video. Let me know if it was not long enough or not informal enough. I'll try to make a follow-up video, because I want everyone to know that this is extremely, I don't want to say extremely easy, but I think because for me, I've done braids for so long, it's extremely easy for me. But it's not that difficult once you get the hang of it, and it just takes practice and time and dedication. Imagine like I was like halfway through my hair wanting to take everything out because I was just done. But never say never. And lastly, I'm adding this detox like tea tree like liquid to my scalp, because my scalp has been giving me problems. Okay, but that is it, and thank you guys so much for watching.